Welcome. This is Mike from Mike Pair Money. Today I'm here to talk to you about why did I start Mike Pair Money? Well, it was born out of this idea that I watched my parents and I saw how they stayed in financial turmoil. And it was based a lot upon because the way that they live, it was their lifestyle. They drove fast cars, they lived in nice apartments, great houses, they dressed really well, but they could never seem to keep money in their pocket or have a savings plan. In contrast, my aunt and uncle, they lived very frugal lives. They didn't eat out much, they didn't take expensive vacations, they didn't drive fancy cars. And I can remember as a young child, my mother, she would run into these financial situations and she would get herself into a bind and she would need some help. So she would go to my aunt and uncle and she would ask them, could she borrow some money? And they would give it to her. And this happened many times. And one of the things that always struck me about this was, how is it that my aunt and uncle always had the money? Well, you see, it was based on a couple simple factors. One is they didn't live above their means. They managed their credit well. They saved often. And they didn't spend frivolously. And so those are just some key takeaways that I remember. And then I had the opportunity to go live with them when I was 14 years old. And so my father had sent me some money for Christmas and I was going to buy Christmas presents for my cousins. So I was going to go to the mall, buy something, but my uncle said, no, we're not going to do that. Instead, he said, we're going to go open a bank account. So we went to the bank, we opened a bank account, and he started me on this process of saving money. So I had a job, I had a paper route at the time, and then I went on in high school to work at McDonald's. And so over the next 4 years, I saved about $2,500. And then from there, I continued that habit. By the time that I got out of the military, I had over $18,000 saved. And so these lessons really stuck with me. Also in the military, my uncle had told me about how to manage credit. He says, go get a couple of department store credit cards, go buy something from that said store, and then as soon as you purchase it on the charge card, go around the corner to the payment place and go ahead and pay for it immediately. And so I did that, and that allowed me to build up my credit. And then he said, once you do that for a while, you establish some credit, you get good credit history. And then he says, what you would do is go ahead and apply for a Visa or MasterCard. I did that and I was able to get a MasterCard. And once I got my MasterCard, then I went ahead and cut up those department store credit cards because I didn't need them anymore. I could use my MasterCard from that point forward. I took those lessons that he taught me, and that really served me well. Finally, I would say he taught me about investments. At that time, he would buy certificates of deposits or treasury bonds, and he would do that often. And so what I did, I didn't necessarily buy treasury bonds, but what I did was in 1987, I was introduced to mutual funds. And so I started buying mutual funds from 1987 to 1989. And then I started buying individual stocks in 1996. And so I continued to learn more about investments and different asset classes as time went on. So these are the things I know that work without fail. Our goal here at Mike Pair Money is, again, to do three things: help you manage your money, secondly, help you grow your money, and thirdly, help you protect your money. If any of that is valuable for you or a loved one, please like and share this content with others that you think it may be helpful. Thank you again. This is Mike from Mike Pair Money.